In the lively town of Aboroso, where everybody knew everybody and everybody's business, there lived a woman no one could ignore. Her name was Madame Efia Koko.
But nobody called her that. Behind her back and sometimes boldly to her face, she was known as Anti-Trouble. Not because she fought people, not because she caused drama, but because of the kind of trouble that made young men suddenly start dressing well, bathing twice a day, and hanging around her street for no clear reason. Madame Koko was not your typical old woman. At her age, most women were sitting under mango trees, advising the youth, complaining about knee pain, and shouting at goats.
Not her. She wore bright, loud cloths that cling a little too confidently to her body. Her perfume arrived before she did. And her laughter?
Sharp, bold, and just a little suspicious.
Old age is a suggestion, not a command.
And clearly she had refused the suggestion. It started as rumors. Have you noticed how Kweku suddenly bought a new phone?
Hey, and Yao too. That boy who was always broke? Go and ask Madame Koko.
At first, people laughed it off. But then the pattern became too obvious. Young men, grown young men, though still foolish enough, kept showing up around her house. Some came bold. Some came pretending they were just helping her carry things. But nobody was fooled. Not even the old woman who pretended to be shocked.
At her age.
One would say adjusting her headscarf dramatically, but she would still walk past Madame Koko's house the next day, just to check. The truth was simple. Madame Koko had money.
Plenty of it. No one knew exactly where it came from, but it was there, flowing freely like she had a secret tap nobody else could find, and especially on young men. Not boys, no. She was careful about that.
Everyone who entered is very much grown, but still young enough to make.
Some came because they were struggling, some came because they were curious.
And some came because they had heard stories. Wild stories. Ridiculous stories. The kind that sounded too exaggerated to be true until you saw the results. Hey, that woman will finish these boys. No, these boys will finish themselves. Madame Korkor, however, didn't care. In fact, she enjoyed the attention. She moved through the town like she owned it, choosing, because despite her playful attitude, she was not careless. But the small money was not small. And in the enjoyment, let's just say some boys came back looking richer, and others came back looking tired. But every system has a flaw, and Madame Koko's flaw came in the form of one particular young man. His name was Kofi Bongo. Nobody took him seriously. He was known for jokes, laziness, and the kind of smile that made you check your pocket after laughing. Kofi was not the strongest, not the richest, not even the most handsome. But he had one thing others didn't: a mind that never slept. While others saw Madame Korkor as an opportunity, Kofi saw her as a game. And Kofi Bongo loved games, especially the kind where people thought they were the ones in control. The first time he stood in front of her gate, the other boys laughed.
You won't survive 1 week.
Kofi just grinned.
Who said I'm going there to survive? I'm going there to win.
Because to them, Madame Koko was the hunter, and they were all just willing prey. But Kofi had already started planning something no one else could see.
And deep inside that big, expensive house, where Madame Korkor believed she controlled everything,
her ending had already begun. She just didn't know it yet. By the time Kofi Bongo stepped into Madame Koko's compound for the first time, he already knew two things. One, he was not the first. And two, he definitely would not be the last. But it didn't bother him. It was how easy everyone else made it look. The boys outside talked like it was some kind of achievement.
She gave me 500 cities just like that. I got new sneakers last week. One time she even had militi. Because to him, all he heard was,
We went, we collected, we left. Simple. Too simple. And that was exactly why he didn't trust it. The gate opened slowly with a creak, and there she was. Madame Koko, standing there like she had been expecting him, which she probably had. Her eyes scanned him from head to toe, not even trying to hide it.
You are new.
Everybody starts somewhere. Just business, but he played along. Because that was the plan. Inside the house, everything smelled expensive. The furniture, the curtains, even the air itself looked like it had money. Kofi sat down carefully, his eyes moving around without moving his head. Observing, always observing.
You look like trouble.
I thought you liked trouble.
I like the kind I can control.
Kofi took a sip. Ah, he thought, so that's the game. Days turned into weeks. And just like that, Kofi became one of her regulars. Not for her, for him. While the other boys left with money and stories, Kofi left with something else. Information. She noticed things. How she kept her money. Where she hid certain keys. Which drawers she opened often, and which ones she never touched. He noticed the visitors, not just young men, quiet ones, serious ones, the kind who didn't laugh and didn't stay long.
That was when Kofi realized something important.
Madame Coco was not just spending money. She was moving money. And suddenly, things became more interesting. Meanwhile, outside, the gossip grew louder.
Hey, that coffee boy has joined them, oh. He will soon collapse.
But have you seen how he's dressing these days? It was true. Kofi looked good, too good. Cleaner, sharper, more confident. But what people didn't know was Kofi was not just enjoying, he was studying. One afternoon, as Madame Corker lay back, relaxed and satisfied, she looked at him with a lazy smile.
You are different.
Different how?
You don't rush. You don't ask for money like the others.
Maybe I'm patient. She watched him closely. For a second, just a second, something flickered in her eyes. But it passed quickly. Because in her mind, she had already won. They all came the same way. Curious, excited, then comfortable, then dependent, then controlled. Kofi would be no different, and long enough for him to move, slowly, carefully. He stood up, barefoot, his ears alert. Step by step, he made his way toward the locked drawer he had been watching for weeks. The one she never opened in front of anyone. The one she checked every single morning.
Let's see what you're hiding, Auntie Trouble.
His fingers moved quickly, pulling out a small tool from his pocket. Click. The drawer opened, and inside, his smile faded. Because what he saw was not just money. It was something much bigger. Something darker. Names. Records. And pictures. Lots of pictures. Of the boys. Of the men. Of everything. This woman. Now he understood. This was not just about pleasure. This was power, blackmail, control. Everyone who walked into this house never truly left. And for the first time since he started this game, Kofi realized something dangerous. He wasn't the only one playing. Behind him, a voice suddenly spoke, calm, awake, and no longer amused.
You should have just taken the money.
Kofi's blood ran cold. Slowly he turned. Madame Coco was sitting up, watching him. Not smiling, not laughing.
Just watching. And in that moment, the game changed.
Kofi didn't move. For a few seconds, even his breathing felt too loud. Madame Corker sat upright on the bed, her face no longer playful, no longer amused.
So, you're not just here to enjoy yourself.
Auntie, I was just curious.
Curiosity kills more than cats.
Silence. Then, unexpectedly, she started laughing. Not the loud, dramatic laugh the town knew. This one was low, knowing.
I've seen your type before. The observers, the quiet ones, the ones who believe they can outplay me. She stopped right in front of him, close enough for him to smell her perfume. You're all the same in the end.
Then why am I still here? because that was the right question.
Instead of answering, Madame Corker reached past him and gently closed the drawer. Click. That small sound felt louder than anything else in the room.
You're here because I allowed it.
That's what you think.
Now it was her turn to study him.
Really study him.
Now, every glance carried weight. Every word had meaning behind it. Madame Corker became more careful. She moved differently. She trusted less.
But Kofi didn't back down. If anything, he leaned in deeper. Because now he had seen the truth. And the truth was powerful.
Outside, the village still laughed and gossiped.
Trouble is enjoying who?
That coffee boy has hit jackpot.
But inside that house, it was no longer enjoyment.
This is not what has come.
It was a silent war. Then one afternoon, everything changed. Kofi didn't show up. At first, Madame Corker didn't care.
Let him rest.
But when night came,
And still no Kofi.
something unfamiliar crept into her chest.
Not fear.
No, she didn't fear easily, but something close.
Hey, have you heard?
Heard what? Coffee Bongo Wandani.
What about him?
They say he's gone to the city.
With what money?
That's why you go and ask him.
Madame Coco heard it too. She didn't rush, didn't panic. She simply walked into her room and opened the drawer. Her fingers moved fast now, checking, counting, flipping through papers. Then she stopped. Her hand froze. Something was missing. Not money, not jewelry. Worse, the records she kept as backup.
Gone. Her eyes.
Kofi Rai.
No name. No greeting. Just one message.
Auntie Trouble, you taught everyone to come, take, and keep quiet. I learned well. But I added one more thing. I don't stay. Check your phone soonin. Her grip tightened on the paper. For the first time in many years, Madame Corker felt something real. Not anger, not annoyance. Fear. By evening it started. A message, then another, then another. Photos, videos, names, everything she had carefully hidden was no longer hers alone.
And it wasn't just in her hands anymore. It was out, floating, spreading, uncontrollable.
In the town, people began to talk.
Not whispers this time.
Loud!
Confused. Shocked.
Aye!
Is it true? That woman? All these years?
The same people who laughed with her, yeah.
Now laughed at her. Madame Coco locked herself inside her house. For days, no visitors, no laughter, no perfume in the air,
Just silence, heavy silence. One evening, as she sat alone in the dim light, she let out a dry, tired laugh. She muttered to herself.
All these boys, and is this useless Kofi who finishes me? She shook her head slowly,
Then regret.
but in realization, because deep down,
She hadn't lost because Kofi was stronger or smarter. She lost because
for the first time,
she underestimated someone. Outside, life in Aboroso continued. But one thing had changed forever. Madame Coco was no longer Auntie Trouble. Now, she was the story. And somewhere far away, in a place she couldn't reach, Kofi Bongo was laughing. Because in the end, the boy everyone underestimated was the only one who didn't come to play. The end.